Hello, everyone. Welcome back to End Times Ambience. If you want to skip this brief introduction, check the comments below for a timestamp to get right into the story. A couple of housekeeping items. YouTube recently reinstated End Times Ambience back into the partner program. So what that means is you're going to start seeing ads on our videos. If you want an ad-free experience and early access to our videos, come join the community over on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Today's video is another backlog item that was over on Patreon. It's been there for a couple months now, and it's based off Return of the Living Dead. Really excited to bring this to you. Return of the Living Dead zombies are some of the most interesting ones out there because they're almost impossible to kill. With that being said, End Times Ambience proudly presents Send More Broadcasters, the 245 Trioxin incident. Enjoy the show.
Good evening. I do hope you're comfortable. Perhaps a favorite chair, a warm drink, the sort of small pleasures one ought to enjoy while they're still available. Tonight's offering concerns a small town in South Carolina, the sort of place where nothing of consequence has ever happened, and everyone rather liked it that way. A rusted drum was found in the woods near a river, an old thing, forgotten by the very people who put it there. What followed was, I'm afraid, rather inconvenient for everyone involved, the living and the dead alike, though I confess the dead seem to be handling it with far more initiative. A small note before we begin. The voices you are about to hear were generated by artificial intelligence. Though the story itself was produced and directed by a human being, one supposes that distinction still matters. For now, any resemblance to persons living or dead is, of course, entirely coincidental. Although, given the subject matter, the dead may take that personally. Do pay attention. These things move rather quickly once they start. Enjoy the show.
Good evening. I'm Mark Cooper. Thanks for joining us on a Friday. It is 5:01 p.m. here in Easley, and we've got your weekend forecast. A big night for local high school football and a couple of items from the police blotter. Let's start with your weather. Partly cloudy tonight, lows in the upper 50s. Tomorrow looks good if you've got outdoor plans. High of 73. Light winds out of the southeast. Easley Green Wave hosting Pickens tonight under the lights. Kickoff at 7:30. Should be a good one if last week's fourth quarter is any indication. Now let's go live to Johnny, who's been out at the Saluda River this afternoon with a story from the sheriff's office.
Mark, I'm out here on Saluda Dam Road just past the bridge where Pickens County Sheriff's deputies recovered the body of an unidentified male this afternoon. They're not saying much at this point. The body was found about 40 yards off the trail in heavy brush near the river. A local jogger spotted it around 2:30 and called it in. Deputies have the area taped off. There's a weird smell out here, Mark. People walking by keep commenting on it. Kind of a rotten egg, sulfur type thing.
Any word on cause of death from the coroner's office?
Nothing official. They're transporting the body to the county morgue tonight. I talked to one of the deputies off the record, and he said the condition of the remains was unusual. He didn't want to get into specifics.
All right. Thanks, Johnny. We'll follow up on that as more information becomes available. Now, we did reach out to Sheriff McClellan's office about those reports of a strange chemical smell near the river, and the sheriff had this to say.
Yeah, we're aware of it. Look, we get calls about smells out by the river every spring and every fall. Usually it's a dead deer, maybe some runoff from the old mill site. Honestly, my money's on the senior class. Every year they pull something. Last year it was a shopping cart full of fish in the faculty parking lot. So, we'll look into it, but I wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
That's Sheriff McClellan of Pickens County. If you do notice anything unusual in the Saluda Dam area tonight, the non-emergency line is posted on our website. Coming up after the break, Walhalla's new farmers market opens Saturday morning, and we've got your full Friday night football schedule.
You're on with Spider, KXEL Easley, your Friday night companion, whether you want me or not. Lines are lit up already, which usually means somebody's dog got loose or the power went out on Calhoun Street again. Let's find out which one it is. It is 5:30 on a Friday. Green wave playing Pickens tonight under the lights. Weather's holding up. Should be a good one. But I got a feeling from looking at these call lines that nobody wants to talk about football. Mr. Vince, you're on with Spider.
Spider, can you hear me? Good, listen. I got 30 pounds of pork shoulder on the smoker right now, had it seasoned and going since 4 a.m., invited the whole cul-de-sac over. And I cannot enjoy a single bite of it because my entire backyard smells like shit. Sorry, Spider. Smells like somebody cracked open a sewer main.
Now, Vince, you're over near the bridge, right? Off Saluda Dam Road?
Half-mile from the bridge. And I've lived in this house 19 years, Spider. 19 years. I know what the river smells like in the summer. I know what a dead deer smells like. This is not that. This is chemicals. Like sulfur and something underneath it that I can't even place. Makes your eyes water if you're out there too long. I called the county and got transferred 3 times. 20 minutes on hold, and the last person told me to close my windows and call back Monday.
Call back Monday. That's county government for you, Vince. Now, the evening news had Sheriff McClendon on about 20 minutes ago. He seems to think this might be the senior class pulling a prank.
A prank? Spider. My neighbor's 2 beagles won't go outside. They stand at the back door and whine. If some 18-year-old can manufacture a sulfur cloud that covers 2 square miles and spooks every dog in the neighborhood, he doesn't need a diploma. He needs a job at a chemical plant.
That's a fair point. All right, Vince. If you hear anything else from the county, you call us back tonight. I'm here till midnight. Let's go to the phones. Tina, you're on with Spider.
Hi, Spider. I don't know if this has anything to do with the smell that man was talking about, but I need to tell somebody because I already called the police and they didn't seem too interested.
All right, Tina, take your time. What happened?
I was walking my dog on the river trail around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I saw a man standing in the tree line, maybe 50 yards off the trail, just inside the woods, just standing there.
Okay. And what was unusual about him?
He was covered in something dark and shiny, like tar or motor oil. Not clothes, Spider. This was on his skin, and where it wasn't covered, the skin underneath was this pale, grayish color. His mouth was open. Not like he was talking, more like he was trying to breathe and couldn't figure out how. And he was looking right at me. My dog started pulling the other direction so hard the leash cut into my hand. And she wouldn't stop until we were back at the car.
Now, hold on, Tina. He didn't move toward you? Didn't say anything?
No. That was the thing, Spider. He didn't move. Not one step. And the smell, the same smell that man was just describing, it was so much stronger right there near the tree line. I could taste it in the back of my throat.
And when you called the police, they said what exactly?
The dispatcher said they'd send a unit out. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know if anybody went. I drove back past there on the way home, and the trail was empty.
Tina, I appreciate you calling in. You did the right thing. Stay inside tonight, all right? Okay, folks, last caller of the hour, then we'll break for the football scores. Casey, you're on with Spider.
Spider, come on, man. A tar-covered man standing in the woods staring at people with his mouth hanging open. You know what that is, right?
Tell me what you think it is, Casey.
Some kid huffing spray paint behind the Dollar General who wandered into the woods and got turned around. That's what that is. Or bath salts. Remember 2 years ago when that guy was walking around behind the Ingalls in his boxers talking to a fire hydrant? Same exact energy.
I do remember that. But what about the smell, Casey? Half the riverside of town is complaining Vince's neighbor's dogs won't go outside.
Beagles are afraid of everything. My cousin's beagle barks at the dishwasher. Look, the smell is probably the old tannery runoff getting stirred up. Happens every time we get a warm snap after rain. It's unpleasant, sure. But Tina saw a junkie in the woods and Vince's barbecue smells bad. That's not a story. That's a Friday.
Well, Casey, maybe, but between the smell covering half the county and what Tina described out there on that trail, and the body they pulled out of the woods this afternoon nobody's been able to identify, that's a strange mix for one Friday.
It's Easley, Spider. Strange as a Friday night without at least one thing that makes the police blutter. No offense to either of your callers, but I'm going back to the game. Go Green Wave.
All right, Casey, enjoy the game. Okay, folks, that's what we've got at the bottom of the hour. Strange smell blanketing the riverside of town. A woman saw something in the woods that her dog wanted no part of, and the sheriff thinks it's pranks. Maybe it is. If you're out near Saluda Dam Road tonight, keep your windows up and maybe keep your dog on a short leash. We'll be right back with your football scores after the break. This is Spider, KXEL Easley.
Good evening. I'm Mark Cooper. We're coming to you live at 11:30 p.m. with a developing story out of the Pickens County Morgue. Easley Police and EMS responded to a reported assault at the facility just before 10 o'clock tonight. Details are still coming in, but we can tell you that at least 2 staff members were injured, one critically. Police have a suspect in custody inside the building. Let's go live to Johnny, who's on scene at the morgue. Johnny, what are you seeing out there?
Mark, I'm standing in the parking lot of the Pickens County Morgue, and there are 6 patrol cars out here, 2 ambulances, and they've got the whole building blocked off with crime tape. Nobody's going in or out right now except law enforcement. Here's what we know so far. Sometime around 9:45, a male suspect attacked 2 morgue employees inside the examination area. One of the attendants has been transported to Easley General with what they're calling severe lacerations to the neck and shoulder. The second attendant locked himself in an office and called 911. And here's where it gets unusual, Mark. The responding officers say the suspect would not go down. They tased him twice. He kept coming. They ended up physically forcing him into the cold storage freezer and locking the door. That's where he is right now.
Johnny, do we have any identification on the suspect? Any idea who this person is or how they got into the building?
That's the part nobody out here can explain, Mark. I spoke with a deputy who was one of the first on scene. He said, and I'm going to give you his words here. He said the suspect appeared to be the body that was brought in this afternoon. The unidentified male recovered from the woods near the Saluda River. Now, police are not confirming that on the record, but I can tell you that several officers I spoke with are shaken up. They're not acting like this is a standard assault.
All right. Thanks, Johnny. Stay with us. Joining us now on the phone is Dr. Mandel, Chief Medical Officer at Baptist Easley Hospital, who's been treating the injured attendant. Dr. Mandel, thank you for taking the time.
Of course, Mark.
Can you tell us anything about the condition of the injured staff member?
He's in surgery right now. The wounds are deep, and I'll say this carefully, they're consistent with bite trauma, human bite trauma, multiple sites. The tissue damage is significant.
Doctor, our reporter on scene mentioned that officers used a taser on the suspect twice without effect. From a medical standpoint, what would account for that kind of resistance?
Taser resistance in certain doses of PCP or methamphetamine isn't unheard of, and that would be the obvious assumption here. Extreme stimulant psychosis can produce remarkable pain tolerance and aggression. What I will say is that I was asked to consult briefly with the officers before they contained the suspect. I examined him through the freezer viewing window. His skin presents tissue degradation I would associate with, well, with a body that has not been alive for some time. And I could not detect a pulse. I tried 3 times.
No pulse. And yet this person was attacking staff members.
That's correct. I don't have an explanation for that yet. I've requested a toxicology panel, but the attending officers are understandably reluctant to open the freezer again to collect a blood sample.
Reluctant. Can you tell us why?
Because the suspect is still moving in there, Mark. They can hear him through the door. I was told the strength required to cause the level of injury we're seeing in the victim, combined with a complete resistance to electrical intervention, that an officer described it as trying to restrain someone with the strength of 4 or 5 men. I want to be measured about this because I don't have lab results yet. But in 30 years of emergency medicine, I have not seen this presentation. The combination of factors doesn't correspond to any substance I'm familiar with.
Dr. Mandel, thank you for your time tonight. We know you've got a lot on your hands over there.
Of course.
All right. To recap what we know at this hour, a violent assault at the Pickens County Morgue, one employee critically injured with bite wounds, a suspect contained in cold storage who, according to police and our medical expert, shows no vital signs and yet remains active and aggressive. Police are telling us the situation is contained. We're going to stay with this story. If you're just joining us, stay with KXEL. We'll have more as it develops.
It's 12:15 in the morning, Saturday now, and if you're just tuning in, it's been a night. You heard the news at 11:30. Something happened at the county morgue, and I've got every line on this board blinking. This is Spider on KXEL. Let's go to the phones. Leon, you're on, and I know you work nights over at that facility. Were you there?
Spider, I was in the building when it happened. I'm the one who locked myself in the office. That was me. My hands are still shaking. I can't, can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine, Leon. Take your time. Tell me what happened.
The body they brought in from the river this afternoon, we had it on the table. Russ was prepping it for processing in the morning. Hadn't even started yet. And the body, Spider, it sat up.
The body sat up?
It sat up off the table, and it looked at Russ. And Russ, he froze. He just stood there. And then I don't know how to say this, Spider, it spoke. It opened its mouth, and it made a sound like, not a word exactly, more like it was trying to remember how to use a voice. And then it went at Russ. I ran. I'm not proud of it. I could hear Russ screaming the whole time I was dialing 911 from behind that office door.
Leon, listen to me. You did the right thing. Russ is in surgery right now, and the doctors are working on him. Now, the news said they think this might be a drug-related incident. Some kind of stimulant psychosis.
Spider, that body was dead. Stone cold dead. I checked it in myself at 4:30 this afternoon. No pulse, no respiration. Skin temperature was room temperature. That man was dead for hours before he ever got to us. And then he sat up and went after Russ like he was starving. I don't know what drug does that. I don't think a drug does that.
All right, Leon, I hear you. You get some rest tonight if you can. Call us back if you need to talk. Okay, I've got Vince on line too, and he's been waiting. Vince, you're on?
Spider, I was listening to this. I was sitting on my porch listening to this, and I need to say something.
Go ahead, Vince.
That man is a liar, or he's crazy. One of the two. Dead bodies do not sit up and attack people. That doesn't happen. He panicked because some junkie got into the morgue and he's making up a story to cover the fact that he ran and left his partner behind.
Vince, I hear what you're saying, but Dr. Mandel was on the news 30 minutes ago and said the suspect had no pulse, 3 checks, no pulse.
And the doctor was wrong. People miss pulses all the time. Maybe the guy was on something that slowed his heart rate down. I don't know. But I do know dead people don't get up and walk around. You start telling people that on the radio and you're gonna have a panic on your hands. And this town doesn't need that right now.
Nobody's trying to start a panic, Vince. I'm just putting the calls through. People are calling and I'm letting them talk.
Well, maybe you should think about which calls you put through. You've got an audience out here, Spider. Words mean something at midnight when people are already spooked about some sulfur smell.
Noted, Vince. Noted. Let's take one more call. I've got Deputy Thornhill on line 4. Deputy, you're on with Spider.
Spider, I probably shouldn't be calling you, but I don't know who else to call right now. I'm at the morgue. I'm one of the officers here.
Deputy Thornhill,
I know you. You coached Little League with my brother. What's going on in there?
The suspect. The man in the freezer. He's hitting the door, Spider. The steel door. And it's denting from the inside. We can hear him in there. He's not screaming. He's not banging random. It's like he's working on it. Hitting the same spot over and over. The hinges are bowing out. I called the sheriff, and he told me to sit tight and wait for the state to send somebody.
Deputy, how many officers are there with you?
4 of us. And none of us want to be the one standing in front of that door when it gives. Spider, I'm telling you as a friend. Something is very wrong here. That thing in there is not a person on drugs.
Deputy Thornhill, you stay safe in there. You hear me? Call us back. Okay, folks, I don't know what to tell you right now. I've got a morgue attendant who says the dead body sat up and talked. I've got a deputy telling me a steel door is buckling from the inside. And I've got Vince telling me I shouldn't be putting these calls on the air. Maybe he's right. I don't know. But this is your station, Easley. If something's happening, you should hear about it here first. We'll be right back.
Here's what matters right now. If you're hearing this, you're already hearing it too late, but you're hearing it before the rest of them, and that counts for something. My name is Harry Cooper. You can find me at the frequencies you already know. What I'm about to lay out for you is a sequence of events, not a theory, a sequence. 1966. The United States Army contracts a company called Darrow Chemical to develop a defoliant for crop destruction, marijuana eradication on paper, biological weapons development in practice. The compound they produced was designated 2,4,5-trioxin. Write that down, 2,4,5-trioxin. If that name sounds familiar, it should. 2,4,5-T-dioxin. Agent Orange, manufactured by Dow Chemical for Vietnam. Same naming convention, same era, same government contracts, different division. Now, in 1969, there was a transport accident at a VA hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A trioxin leak inside the morgue. The bodies in that morgue reactivated. Not a metaphor. The dead tissue began functioning again. The Army Corps of Engineers, under a Colonel H. Glover, sealed those bodies in airtight drums filled with the gas and classified the entire incident. They sealed them and they shipped them, and they lost some of those drums. Lost them. The United States military lost sealed biohazard containers full of reanimated human remains and classified the loss. Those drums have numbers on them. They have phone numbers stenciled right on the steel. 800-454-8000. So tonight, a dead body at the Pickens County Morgue in Easley, South Carolina, sat up off a table and attacked a living person. No pulse, superhuman aggression, taser resistant, and the entire riverside of that town has been choking on a sulfur smell all day that the sheriff is calling a senior prank. 2,4,5-trioxin is a pale yellowish green gas at room temperature. It has a strong sulfur smell. It is thermally stable, meaning you can burn it and it doesn't break down. It bonds with water and it reactivates dead nervous tissue on contact. Every nerve, every cell, the brain, the spinal column, the fingers, all of it, independently, which means you can't shoot it in the head. Shooting a trioxin body in the head does nothing. Cutting it in half gives you 2 halves that still come after you. The only thing that stops the body is total incineration or high voltage electrical current, and incineration puts the gas right back in the air. I'll say that again. Burning the body releases the gas gets into the rain gets into the soil. Now, you heard in the late 60s rumors of that Pittsburgh incident leaked? A filmmaker made a movie about it. They changed the details to keep from getting sued, made the dead slow, made them killable with a headshot, made the cause some space probe, Hollywood version, safe version. The real ones aren't slow. The real ones talk. The real ones remember who they were, and they are in pain, constant, screaming, nerve-level pain from their own flesh rotting while they're still awake inside it. The only thing that stops the pain is living bioelectricity, brain tissue. That's why they come for you. Here's what you do. If you're in Easley, South Carolina, right now, tonight, you get your family and you drive north. You don't wait for the morning. You don't wait for the governor. You don't wait for the news to tell you what's happening because the news doesn't know yet. If you are outside Easley, you fill every container in your house with water tonight. You check your supplies. You charge every battery. And you stay away from any rain that looks yellow or smells like sulfur. I've been watching this for a long time. I hoped I was wrong. The window for getting out ahead of this is closing, and I'm not going to repeat myself. This has been Harry Cooper. Do what you need to do tonight.
We are continuing our coverage this morning at 3 a.m. I'm Mark Cooper. If you're just joining us, Easley has had one of the strangest nights in the history of this station, and it's not over. We're now getting reports of a fire at the Robinson Funeral Home on Main Street. Johnny is on the ground near the scene. Johnny, what can you tell us?
Mark, I'm about 200 yards from the funeral home. They've got us pushed back behind the fire line. The crematorium building at the rear of the property is fully engulfed. 2 engine companies responded. They've been working it for about 45 minutes now, and the flames are down. But the smoke coming off this thing is it's not a normal color.
What do you mean by that?
It's got a yellowish tint to it, Mark. Thick, heavier than wood smoke. It's sitting low and drifting south toward the residential streets. People in the houses around here have been coming out onto their porches and going right back inside. The smell is the same one we've been reporting since yesterday, but stronger than anything out at the river. And there's something else. It's raining, started about 20 minutes ago, and the rain, Mark, I'm looking at it under the street lights right now, and it has a color, a greenish yellow color. Where it hits the sidewalk, it's leaving a film.
You're saying the rain itself is discolored.
That's what I'm looking at. I don't have an explanation for it. The fire crew pulled back from the building about 10 minutes ago, and they're hosing down from a distance. Nobody's going inside.
All right, Johnny, stay safe out there. We'll come back to you. Now, we have Sheriff McClellan joining us by phone. Sheriff, thank you for being available at this hour. Can you tell us what happened at the funeral home tonight?
Yeah, Mark. We believe the fire at the funeral home was arson. We have identified suspects, and we expect to have them in custody shortly.
You've identified suspects in an arson at a funeral home at 3 in the morning.
That's correct. We believe it's connected to some ongoing situations in the area. We're handling it.
Sheriff, is this connected to what happened at the county morgue earlier tonight? Our reporter is telling us the smoke from this fire is the same color and same smell as whatever's been covering this town since yesterday.
Mark, I'm going to ask you to be responsible about what you're reporting right now. We've got a fire at a funeral home. We have suspects. The rain is, the Weather Service is aware of the precipitation situation, and they're looking at it. What I need you to do right now is tell your viewers to stay inside. Stay out of the rain. Don't touch it. If it gets on your skin, rinse it off with clean water. That's a precaution, a sensible precaution.
You're telling people the rain is something they need to wash off their skin, and you're calling that a precaution.
It's acidic, Mark. Mildly acidic. We've had acidic rain before. It's not... Look, just stay inside. Please, tell them to stay inside.
Sheriff, I'm going to be straightforward with you. Yesterday at 5 o'clock, you told this station the sulfur smell was a senior prank. By midnight, we had a body attacking staff at the morgue. Now a funeral home is burning, and the rain is discolored and caustic. Are these events connected?
Stay inside, Mark. That's what I've got for you right now. Stay inside.
That was Sheriff McClellan. If you are in the Easley area, the sheriff's office is advising all residents to remain indoors and avoid contact with the rainfall. We're going to stay with this. Johnny, are you still there?
Still here, Mark. The rain's coming down heavier where it's hitting the grass along the sidewalk. The grass is turning brown. I'm watching it happen in real time under the streetlight, and there's a cemetery about a quarter mile from here, Grace Hill Memorial. This rain is falling right on top of it.
Stay on the line, Johnny. We'll be right back with continuing coverage. If you are just waking up, stay inside and keep your windows closed.
"4 a.m. Saturday morning. This is Spider, KXEL. I've been on the air since 5:30 yesterday, and I wasn't planning on being here this late, but here we are. If you can hear my voice and you haven't been following along, here's where things stand. Something happened at the county morgue around 10 o'clock tonight. Then a funeral home caught fire, and now it's raining. And the rain is, well, it's hard to explain. The phones are ringing. Let's take some calls. Barrett, you're on with Spider.
Yeah, Spider, I'm out on the south end of town near the old textile mill. I was smoking on the porch, and the rain started about an hour ago. First thing I noticed was the smell. It's not the same sulfur from yesterday. It's worse, like something rotting and burning at the same time.
You said you were outside in it?
For maybe 5 minutes before I went back in. I put my hand out, let it collect in my palm. It left a yellowish stain on my skin. I rinsed it off, and the skin underneath was pink, like a mild burn. But that's not the part that got to me. I looked at the grass in my front yard. The part under the porch overhang is green and fine. Everything past the drip line is going brown. Every blade, like somebody sprayed the whole lawn with weed killer.
Our reporter at the funeral home fire said the same thing about the grass over there. Barrett, stay inside and keep washing your hands. I mean that. Okay. Ernie, you're on. And you live out near Grace Hill Memorial, right?
My property line runs along the north fence, Spider. I can see the headstones from my bedroom window.
All right, Ernie. What's happening?
I can't sleep. I've been awake since the rain started, and I keep hearing something. I thought it was the house settling at first. Maybe a branch scraping on the roof. But it's not coming from the house. It's coming from the ground, from the cemetery side. A scratching sound. Slow, steady, like something dragging against wood a long way down.
Ernie, hold on. You're telling me you hear sounds from underground? From the direction of the cemetery?
I put my ear to the ground out by the fence where the rain was soaking the dirt. I shouldn't have done that. I could hear it clearly. Not one thing scratching. A lot of things scratching. Different spots, different speeds. And the dirt in the newer section. The section closest to my fence. It looks soft, loose, like something's been pushing up from underneath. I came back inside and locked every door. I don't want to go back out.
Ernie, don't. Stay inside. Stay away from those windows facing the fence line. You hear me?
I hear you, Spider.
Okay, folks, I'm going to take one more call, and then I need a minute. Bob, you're on with Spider, and you work at the water treatment plant.
Chemical safety technician at the Pickens County Water Authority. I've been at the plant all night running samples since this rain started coming down.
What are you finding?
My particulate sensors are pegged, Spider. I've had to reset them twice because they keep maxing out on sulfur compounds. The pH reading on collected rainfall is sitting at 3.2. For context, normal rain is around 5.6. Lemon juice is about 2. This rain is closer to vinegar than water. And there's a compound in the mix I can't identify. My spectrometer is reading something organic that shouldn't be present in rainfall. I've tested it 3 times and I pulled the same result.
Something organic.
A biological agent. I don't have a classification for. It's bonding with the sulfur like it was engineered to. I've been doing water chemistry for 12 years and I've never pulled a sample that looks like this. I called the state EPA line 40 minutes ago. They put me on hold. I'm still waiting.
They put a chemical safety technician on hold at 4 in the morning during a contamination event?
That's correct. Spider, this rain is soaking into every piece of exposed soil in this town right now. Every yard, every drainage basin, every cemetery. Whatever this compound is, it's in the groundwater before sunrise.
Okay. Folks, I don't know what to make of tonight anymore. I've got rain that burns the grass where it lands. I've got a man who lives by the cemetery hearing things coming from under the dirt. And I've got a water technician telling me there's something in the rainfall that the state lab hasn't got a name for. Close your windows. Stay off the grass. Don't drink the tap water until someone who isn't on hold tells you it's safe. This is Spider, KXEL. We'll be back.
You're listening to Dead Frequency. I'm Kurt Reynolds. If you've been listening to the local news out of Easley, South Carolina tonight, you heard about a body reanimating in a county morgue, a fire at a funeral home, and rain that's burning the grass off people's lawns. Most of you are hearing this and thinking it sounds like a bad horror movie. I put out an episode on a compound designated 2,4,5-trioxin back in 2022. 14 people listened to it. My guest tonight is one of the reasons I made that episode. His name is Harry Cooper. He runs a broadcast most of you have probably come across. Harry, I imagine you're not surprised by what's happening in Easley right now.
No, Kurt, I'm not surprised. I'm angry, but I stopped being surprised about 2 years ago.
For the people who didn't hear my 2022 episode, and that's almost everybody, start from the beginning. What is 2,4,5-trioxin?
In 1966, the United States Army contracted a company called Darrow Chemical to produce a defoliant, officially for marijuana crop destruction. In practice, it was biological weapons research tied to the same Cold War programs that produced Agent Orange. The compound they created was designated 2,4,5-trioxin. The naming convention tells you everything. 2,4,5-trioxin, that's Agent Orange. Manufactured by Dow Chemical, dumped across Vietnam. 2,4,5-trioxin, same naming structure, different branch of the same program.
And the trioxin had a side effect that Darrow didn't expect.
Side effect, that's one way to describe it. The compound reactivates dead nervous tissue, not partially, completely. Every nerve, every synapse, every pain receptor in the body, on contact, gaseous form, liquid form, trace amounts in soil, it doesn't matter.
I want to be specific about what you're describing. This chemical makes dead bodies functional again.
Functional, verbal thinking. That's what people don't understand. This doesn't just restart motor functions, it fires up everything. If the brain is intact, the person comes back with everything they had, memory, language, problem solving. They're the same person they were before they died, except now they're dead and they know it.
I documented this next part in my episode, the pain mechanism.
Right. The nervous system is fully active, but the body is still decomposing. The reanimated subject feels every cell dying constantly. It's not a dull ache. It's total sensory overload, like being burned alive from the inside 24 hours a day with no way to pass out and no way to die again. The only thing that gives them any relief is consuming living brain tissue. The bioelectricity in a working human brain acts like a narcotic for the reactivated nerves. Floods the system with enough electrical signal to drown out the decay for a few minutes. Then it wears off, and they need more every time.
So this isn't hunger. This is pain management.
That's exactly what it is. They're not eating because they're hungry. They're eating because they're in agony, and the only painkiller that works is inside your skull.
Now, when people hear the word zombie, they think of what they've seen in the movies. Slow, stupid, shoot it in the head and it drops. That's not what we're talking about.
That's Hollywood, Kurt. And there's a reason for that. In '69, when the first Trioxin leak happened at a VA hospital morgue in Pittsburgh, a filmmaker got hold of the story. The Army threatened to sue him. Darrow Chemical threatened to sue him, so the filmmaker changed everything, made the dead slow, made headshots work, changed the cause to radiation from a space probe. What ended up in theaters was the safe version. The actual thing is fast, aware, can speak, can use tools and radios and lock doors, and you cannot stop it by destroying the brain. The trioxin saturates every cell in the body equally. You cut one in half, both halves keep coming after you independently.
And what about living people who get exposed? That's the part my 2022 episode didn't cover.
Different timeline. A corpse reactivates in seconds. A living person exposed to heavy concentrations of the gas goes through a slower process. Over a period of hours, their body temperature drops. Their heart rate slows. Rigor mortis starts setting in while they're still awake and aware. They feel themselves dying, Kurt, and then they feel themselves coming back. And the first thing they feel after that is the pain, and the hunger starts right behind it.
Which brings us to tonight. And this is the part I've been dreading since the fire was reported. Somebody in Easley tried to burn one.
That's exactly what happened. They took the reanimated body from the morgue to the funeral home and put it in the crematorium, which is the single worst decision they could have made.
Because the trioxin doesn't burn off.
It's thermally stable. 1,800 degrees, 2,200 degrees, doesn't matter. The compound survives intact. What burning does is convert it from solid tissue into vapor. The smoke goes up the chimney, rises into the storm front, bonds with the moisture in the clouds, and then it comes back down as rain. Yellowish green, mildly acidic, carrying enough trioxin to saturate everything it touches. And when that rain soaks into soil containing human remains, the compound does what it was built to do.
It wakes them up.
Every body in the ground that still has connective tissue or marrow, embalming doesn't stop it. Formaldehyde doesn't inhibit the reaction. A body that's been in the ground for 20 years with intact marrow will reactivate the same as one buried last week.
I need to ask you the question I already know the answer to. Grace Hill Memorial Cemetery is a quarter mile from that funeral home. The rain has been falling on it for over an hour.
By sunrise, Kurt, every occupied plot in that cemetery will be active. The rain doesn't need to reach the caskets directly. It just needs to saturate the topsoil. The compound seeps down on its own. It's autocatalytic, meaning once the process begins in one cell, it spreads through the entire body without additional exposure.
And here's the part I need people to hear. Harry, if somebody finds one of these and their instinct is to burn it.
More vapor. More rain, more cemeteries. That's the paradox. The one thing every person on Earth will reach for to stop this fire is the thing that spreads it. And the military already proved it.
So where does that leave Easley? Right now, tonight. What actually stops this?
Electricity. Massive, sustained electrical current will destroy the reactivated nervous system without turning the compound into gas. The body stays intact, the trioxin stays locked in the tissue, and the subject stops moving. But it takes power grid levels of voltage, not a taser, not a portable generator, an actual substation. The other option is physical containment. Airtight drums, hermetically sealed, kept at freezing temperatures to slow the off-gassing. That's what the Army did in '69 with the Pittsburgh specimens. That's what they should have done tonight. Instead, they panicked and they burned it.
And now the rain is doing the rest.
And now the rain is doing the rest.
I've been prepared for a lot of things on this show. I don't think I was prepared enough. That's dead frequency. If you're anywhere near Easley, don't go near the cemetery. Don't burn anything you can't explain. And stay out of the rain.
It is 6:30 a.m., Saturday morning. I'm Mark Cooper. We're going straight to Johnny, who's been near Grace Hill Memorial Cemetery since the funeral home fire. Johnny, I can hear noise behind you. What is happening out there?
Mark, I pulled back about 300 yards from the cemetery fence line. What you're hearing behind me is gunfire. Pickens County deputies are firing at people, at what used to be people. The ground started breaking apart about 45 minutes ago, Mark. The rain soaked it soft enough and they pushed through. First one came up near the newer plots on the east side, then more. I could see at least 30 or 40 of them on the road between here and the cemetery gate right now. Some of them are dressed, burial suits, dresses, whatever they were put in the ground wearing. Others, the older ones, they've got almost nothing left on them. And Mark, they're not stumbling, they're walking with purpose. Some of them are running.
You said they're using tools.
I watched one of them pick up a shovel from the groundskeeper's shed and use it to pry through a chain link fence, Mark. Another one opened a car door, not smashed through it, opened it with the handle. These are not what people think they are. They're figuring things out.
Johnny, the gunfire we're hearing, is it having any effect?
No, Mark, it's not. I watched a deputy empty a magazine into the chest of one of them from maybe 10 feet away. It rocked back from the impact and kept walking. Didn't even change direction. Another deputy got a clean headshot. I saw the hit, Mark, direct. The subject stumbled back a step and then straightened up and kept coming. The deputies are falling back now. Some of them dropped their weapons and ran.
Johnny, I need you to get to safety right now.
I'm in the van, Mark. Doors locked, engine running. I can hear them on the street outside. There's one about 20 yards from me on the sidewalk, and it's talking, not yelling, not screaming, speaking. I can hear words, but I can't make them out from here.
Stay in the van, Johnny. Don't open those doors for anyone. We have Dr. Mandel on the phone. Dr. Mandel has been coordinating with EMS through the night. Doctor, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Mark.
Doctor, our reporter is telling us that gunfire, including direct shots to the head, is not stopping these subjects. How is that possible?
It's not possible, Mark. That's the answer. Under any medical model I have, it is not possible. Destroying the brainstem terminates motor function. That's how the nervous system works. That's how it has always worked. What I'm being told by the paramedics on scene doesn't fit that model. Shots to the chest, the abdomen, the cranium, the subjects keep moving. I've been told, I'm sorry. I was told by one of my EMT crews that a subject's arm was severed at the shoulder during a struggle. The arm continued to grab at them on the ground.
Dr. Mandel, I'm asking you as the chief medical officer of this county, what are we dealing with here?
I don't have a classification for it, Mark. I've been on the phone with the state health department for the last hour. They don't have one either. The rain carried something into that soil, and it reactivated dead tissue on a scale that I cannot explain to you because the medical language for this doesn't exist. Whatever is driving them, it isn't centralized in the brain. It's in everything. Every cell, every piece of tissue. You can't shut it down by targeting one organ because the whole body is functioning independently. Mark, I've lost 3 of my paramedics since sunrise. 3 of my people. I can't send anyone else out there. I can't ask them to go.
Dr. Mandel, thank you. Please take care of your staff. To everyone listening right now, the dead are walking in Easley, South Carolina. I am telling you this because our reporter is watching it happen and our chief medical officer is confirming it. They are walking, they are speaking, they are using tools, and our law enforcement cannot stop them with the weapons they have. Do not go outside. Do not open your doors. Do not approach these subjects for any reason. We're going to stay on the air as long as we have power. Stay with KXEL.
7 a.m., Saturday. This is Spider on KXEL. The sun came up about 20 minutes ago. It doesn't look like morning. There's a haze over the town, yellowish, like the sky doesn't know what color it's supposed to be. If you've been with me since last night, you already know. If you're just tuning in, I don't know how to tell you what happened while you were asleep. Grace Hill Cemetery opened up about an hour ago, and the dead are rising. The police are out there, and their guns don't work. I'm going to keep taking calls because that's what this station is for. Suicide, you're on with Spider.
Spider, I need to whisper right now. I'm in the hall closet. My front door is open and I didn't open it.
Okay, stay quiet. Stay still. Tell me where you are.
Maple Street. 2 blocks from the cemetery. I heard the scratching around 5:30. The same sound the man on your show was talking about last night, the one who lived by the fence. It was coming from everywhere. Then at 6 o'clock it stopped. I thought it was over, Spider. I thought maybe whatever it was had passed. Then I heard my front door unlock from the outside. The deadbolt turned. I heard the click.
Someone unlocked your door from the outside. Who has a key to your house?
Nobody, Spider, except Mrs. Felton, my neighbor. She had a spare in case I locked myself out. She died in March. I went to her funeral. She was standing in my living room, the dress she was buried in. She was looking around the room, Spider. Like she remembered being there. Like she was trying to figure out where she was. I got into the closet and I pulled the door shut and I haven't moved.
She remembered your house. She remembered where the key was.
I can hear her in the kitchen now. She's opening drawers. She knows where things are, Spider. She's been dead for 3 months and she knows where the drawers are.
Don't move. Keep that closet door shut. Keep the phone on and don't make a sound. You call me back if anything changes. I mean that. Okay, I've got Casey online too. Now, Casey, I remember you. You called in last night and told me Tina saw a junkie in the woods and the smell was tannery runoff. What's going on, Casey?
Spider, don't. Don't say I told you so.
I'm not going to do that, Casey. Tell me what happened.
After I hung up last night, I went out on the porch. I wanted to prove it was just tannery runoff. I stood in the rain for about 10 minutes. That was 6-7 hours ago. Spider, I'm cold. Not shivering cold. Deep cold. Like the cold is inside my bones. I'm under every blanket I own, and my fingers are blue. And about 20 minutes ago, I put my hand on my chest to check my heart.
And
It stopped, Spider. My heart stopped. I checked 3 times. I put my fingers on my neck. Nothing. And I'm still here. I'm still talking to you.
Casey, your heart stopped and you're still on the phone with me.
Yeah. Yeah, Spider. That's what I'm calling about. I'm still me. I'm still thinking. But something is happening that I can't stop, and I don't know how much longer I stay me. And there's a feeling starting in the back of my skull, like a pressure, like something wants me to go somewhere, and I don't know where yet, but it's getting louder, Spider. It's getting louder every minute.
Casey, listen to me. You lock yourself in a room, no windows if you can manage it. Don't let anyone near you until somebody figures this out. You hear me?
I hear you, Spider. I'm sorry I laughed at her. I'm sorry I laughed at Tina.
Okay, folks. I've got one more caller, and it's a number I don't recognize. Caller, you're on with Spider. Go ahead.
Hello, Spider. We've been listening to your broadcast. Very informative. We told the dispatchers to send more paramedics. They were delicious.
Who is this?
My name doesn't matter, does it? I died in this town 4 years ago, and I woke up about an hour ago. And the first thing I felt was my skin. Everything is coming apart, Spider. And I can feel every piece of it letting go. Do you know what that's like? To rot while you're still thinking? The brains help. For a little while, the pain gets quiet, and the world makes sense again. Just for a few minutes. Then it comes back. It always comes back. Dan, are there brains in your studio?
Folks, I just took a call from something that used my real name, not Spider. It called me Dan. I haven't gone by Dan on the air in 15 years. Whoever that was, they knew me. Before. Lock your doors, Easley. Board your windows if you can. Don't answer for anyone, even if you know the voice. Especially if you know the voice. This is Spider on KXEL. I'm not going anywhere.
10:30 a.m. Saturday from the KXEL News Desk. This is Mark Cooper. We're cutting away from our cemetery coverage right now. On Calhoun Memorial Highway, the Walmart Supercenter, where police were responding to a mass casualty situation, has gone dark in the last 15 minutes. Going live to Johnny. On the perimeter at Calhoun Memorial since 9:45 this morning, our reporter Johnny has been counting bodies in the parking lot. Pickens County officers, more than 30 of them, have been on scene, and most aren't responding to dispatch right now. Johnny, what are you seeing?
Mark, I'm at the perimeter on the highway. The line pulled back to the Easley Cinemas parking lot 15 minutes ago. The lot itself, every row I can see from this perimeter line has bodies in it from end to end, if they're bodies. Some are still moving. Mark, the people in funeral clothes from Rock Springs Cemetery, all of them are walking between the cars in the parking lot at a normal pace. From the perimeter line, I just watched one of them open the driver's side door of a Ford F-150 and pull a man out of the cab by his belt. He didn't fight.
Johnny, are residents defending themselves? The people in those neighborhoods near the cemetery, the homeowners with their own firearms, are they firing back from their homes or from the perimeter? The fire department, anybody at all?
Mark, this morning I watched two homeowners come out of their own houses on Rock Springs Road carrying shotguns. Of every single round those two men fired into the subjects walking up the road, not one bullet, not a single one did anything at all. People are barricading.
Johnny, stay where you are. The audio you're about to hear sent to this newsroom in the last 15 minutes came from Pickens County Emergency Dispatch. The recording is unverified. The voices on it aren't all human. If there are children in the room with you, take them out.
911. What's your emergency?
Help me. I'm at the Walmart Supercenter on Calhoun Memorial. The people coming through the front doors right now, dozens of them, are covered in red dirt and what looks like burial clothes. They're not stopping. Please send...
Ma'am, stay with me. Every available unit in this county, sheriff's deputies and state troopers, is being dispatched to the Supercenter on Calhoun Memorial right this moment.
Dispatch, Unit 4, on Calhoun Memorial, passing the Ingalls. A column of people, 80 or 90 of them, is walking south down Rock Springs Road right now and crossing against traffic. From here, it looks like funeral clothes. I'm slowing down.
Unit 4, can you say again? Did you say a column of people in funeral clothes? 911, what's your emergency?
This is Tina. My two kids and I, all three of us, are hiding inside the family bathroom at the Walmart right now. Something is walking outside the door. It keeps trying the handle. Ma'am, please.
Stay on the line with me, Tina. Stay on the line. 911, what's your emergency?
Hello, dispatcher. All of us, the ones who walked up out of the soil at Rock Springs this morning, are now at the Walmart on Calhoun Memorial. The pain is everywhere. Please send more paramedics. We will be waiting for them.
Sir, who is calling this number? Every available unit in this district, every single one of them is being dispatched to that location at this moment.
That's great news. We need more brains.
Dispatch, Steve at the front entrance. The new kid we hired in March is down already, and Marcus is by the loading dock and not moving. A fit? They walk right past me. We have shot them multiple times, headshots, body shots, and they still keep coming. Every one of them is just, ah!
This is Unit 4. The scene at the Walmart on Calhoun Memorial, all of it, has been neutralized at this time and all units are clear to enter. The brains are still warm.
All units, do not respond to that call. Whoever is broadcasting on Unit 4's radio, the voice you're hearing on that channel isn't one of us, and you can't respond. That's not, oh God.
That's enough. For reasons of broadcast standards and basic human decency, we aren't playing the rest of what was on that tape from emergency dispatch. Johnny, are you still with me?
Mark, I'm here. Behind me, the officers are dragging another body back from the line. Across the parking lot, more of those subjects from Rock Springs, dozens that I can count from here, are walking out toward the highway, heading toward downtown Easley.
Johnny, stay with the live feed. Sheriff McClelland of the Easley Police Department, who's been on the ground since the first calls came in, is on the phone with us right now from the parking lot. We have him through a cellular connection. Sheriff, can you hear me? Sheriff?
Mark, I can hear you. From the parking lot, 6 of my men, the ones I sent in first this morning, are dead, and 2 more inside aren't coming back.
Sheriff, what's happening at the Walmart right now?
Mark, these subjects walking out the front doors of the supercenter, every single one of them, aren't people on drugs. Friday, I told you it was a senior prank. On the radio, I told the whole town. Today, I owe Easley an apology for that. These are dead people, Mark.
Sheriff, where did they come from?
Rock Springs Church Cemetery, out on Rock Springs Road about 4 miles from where I'm standing. The dead there, every one of them in the new section and the old, came up out of the ground around 8 a.m. and walked down the hill in their burial clothes. I knew some of these people, Mark. I buried Earl Wilson myself in March.
Sheriff, you saw people you knew.
Mark, I saw Earl Wilson walking down Rock Springs Road in the suit we buried him in. On the porch, his wife, his widow, Carol, was waving at him because she thought he had come home. She thought it was a miracle. She didn't know.
Sheriff, is there a plan?
There's no plan, Mark. For people climbing back out of the ground, Pickens County doesn't have a playbook. Nobody does. Within the next hour, my remaining men, the ones I have left, are falling back with me to Getty School, and we're locking down the gym and cafeteria. We're also going to be setting up shelters at Easley High School and 5 Point Church. That's the plan.
Sheriff McClellan, stay safe out there.
Mark, the men on the perimeter at the highway, all of us still standing, aren't going to hold past noon. Tell people to stay inside. Tell them I'm sorry.
He's gone. The line went dead. For everyone listening right now in Easley, anyone in your homes or your cars or wherever you are, don't go to the Walmart on Calhoun Memorial and don't go near Rock Springs Road. The lights in this studio, every one of them, just flickered. The power for this building, our only hookup to the grid, is running on a 40-year-old transformer at the Pelzer substation. If we lose it, if we lose this signal, stay with KXEL while we still have one.
I want to read something to you this morning, and I want you to listen, because these words were written for a time like this. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones. And he caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. And he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Those are the words of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verses 1 through 6. I've read those words at funerals. I've read them at hospital bedsides. I've read them to people who needed to believe that the dry places in their lives were not the end of the story. I never imagined I'd be reading them on a Saturday morning while the bones were actually rising outside the walls of this church. An hour ago, we lost the Walmart on Calhoun Memorial. Families were in there, children were in there, People I'd baptized were in there, and now they aren't. I know some of you are trapped right now. I know some of you are in closets, in basements, in locked bathrooms with your children, listening to this on whatever you have left with a charge. And I know some of you are asking the same question God asked Ezekiel in that valley. Can these bones live? You're asking it differently, though. You're asking it the way a parent asks it, or a husband, or a child who can hear something at the front door. You're asking, how do I survive what's alive out there? I'm not going to pretend I have the answer to that. I'm a pastor. I'm not a soldier. I don't know what chemical did this. I don't know whose hands put it in our ground. But I know this. Ezekiel's passage doesn't say God looked at that valley of bones and turned away. It doesn't say God saw how bad it was and decided there was nothing to be done. God walked Ezekiel into the middle of it, into the valley, not around it, through it. That's where we are this morning. We are in the valley, and the path goes through, not around. And we don't walk it alone. I want to speak to the person sitting in the dark right now, wondering if anyone else is still out there. We are. There are 26 people in this church with me. Mr. Henderson brought his family and 3 cases of water from his store on Main Street. Miss Loretta brought every candle she owns, and she's been lighting them since before dawn. The Wheaton kids are asleep on the back pews. Somebody brought some coffee from Dunkin' over there by Walgreens. I don't even know who. It was just there when I looked up. We are still here. We are still taking care of each other. And in a morning like this, that is not a small thing. That is everything. Being afraid right now is not a failure of faith. Being afraid right now is being human. God didn't build us to face things like this without feeling them. He built us to face them and feel them and keep going. I'm going to pray now. Not because I think prayer alone is going to fix what's outside these walls. I'm going to pray because it's what I know how to do, and because if you're hearing my voice right now, I want you to know that somebody in this town is thinking about you, Lord. We don't understand what's come into our town this morning. We don't understand how it got here or why. We've lost people already, and we're afraid of losing more. But we're still here. We've still got each other. And right now, that has to be enough. Give us the courage to open our doors for the living. Give us the strength to hold on for another hour and then another one after that. And be with the ones who are alone tonight, Lord. Be with the families who went to the Walmart this morning and didn't come home. The ones hiding in the dark. The ones who couldn't get to us. The ones who don't have a church or a neighbor. Walk them through the valley, Lord. Not around it, through it, because you promised you would. And we're holding you to it. Keep your lights on, Easley. Keep your doors locked and your lights on. If you can hear my voice, you are not alone.
It is 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. I'm Mark Cooper. If you can still hear us, here is what has happened since this morning. Rock Springs Church Cemetery is empty. The dead walked out of the ground and into our town. The Walmart on Calhoun Memorial fell before noon. Sheriff McClellan and his last men who fell back to Easley High School are not answering the radio anymore. We have one development that changes everything. A Pickens County deputy located a rusted military drum in the woods near the Saluda River this morning, the same area where the body was found Friday afternoon. The drum had a phone number stenciled on the side, 800-454-8000. That call was placed at 11 this morning. Within 30 minutes, we had military vehicles entering the county from the north. We're going live to Johnny, who's been, Johnny, are you there?
I'm here, Mark. I pulled back from the Walmart perimeter on Calhoun Memorial about an hour ago. I'm on Route 123 heading, and I can see a military convoy coming the other direction, Humvees, troop transports, and something on the back of a flatbed I can't identify. Looks like they brought heavy equipment. There are roadblocks going up at every major intersection on the county line. They're not letting anyone through. I watched a family in a minivan get turned around at gunpoint, Mark. At gunpoint, they had kids in the back seat.
Nobody is getting out.
Nobody is getting out, Mark. They're sealing the town. There's a perimeter going up around the entire county, and it looks permanent. I've been trying to get a statement from any of the officers at the barricade, and they won't speak to press. One of them told me to go back inside and to stay away from windows.
Stay with us, Johnny. We have Colonel Glover on the phone. Colonel Glover is with the United States Army Corps of Engineers and has apparently been assigned to manage this situation. Colonel, thank you for speaking with us.
I'll be brief, Mr. Cooper. At 1100 hours today, the Department of Defense established a quarantine perimeter around Pickens County, South Carolina. Martial law is in effect as of this hour. All civilian movement within the quarantine zone is restricted.
Colonel, we've got families trying to leave and being turned back at gunpoint. When does the evacuation begin?
There is no evacuation plan at this time. The perimeter exists to contain the biological threat within the affected zone. No person, vehicle, or material will cross the quarantine line in either direction until the threat has been neutralized.
You're telling me that the people of Easley, the living people, are locked inside a quarantine zone with the dead, and no one is coming to get them out?
I'm telling you that the containment of this event is the priority, Mr. Cooper. The Department of Defense is preparing a response that will eliminate the threat within the quarantine zone. I am not authorized to discuss the details of that response.
Eliminate the threat. Colonel, there are thousands of living people in this zone.
All civilians are advised to shelter in place and await further instruction. This is the last statement I am authorized to make on this channel.
Colonel Glover, he's gone. Johnny, are you still with me?
Mark, I'm at the barricade on 123, and they're telling me to turn off my equipment. They're telling me to shut down the broadcast. I don't think they're asking, Mark. I think...
Johnny, can you hear me? We've lost Johnny's feed. Okay. To everyone who can still hear me, the military is here. They've locked us in, and they're not coming to get us out. They found the drum that started all of this, and whatever phone call they made brought soldiers instead of doctors. I don't know what to tell you. The dead are walking, the dead are feeding, and no one is allowed to leave. If this is the last thing you hear from this station, I want you to know that KXEL stayed on the air for as long as it could. Stay inside, stay alive. We are being told that the President of the United States is about to address the nation regarding the events in Easley, South Carolina. This will be President Burt Wilson's first public statement since the crisis began Friday evening. We go now to the White House.
My fellow Americans, I come to you today with very serious news, tremendously serious, possibly the most serious news a president has ever had to deliver. And believe me, I've studied the presidents, all of them. This is big. Earlier today, I was briefed by my top people, the best people in the military, the best generals, on a biological event in the town of Easley, South Carolina, a Class 1 domestic biological terror event. That is the official designation, and I am told it is the first time that designation has ever been used. First time under my watch, because nobody else ever had to deal with anything like this. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, oh, it's like one of those movies, Night of the Living Dead, World War Z, that Brad Pitt movie where he's running around and everybody's biting everybody. Very popular film, good numbers. Or that one, what's it called? 28 Days Later, where everybody's fast and screaming. Very scary movie, by the way. I watched it on Air Force One. Great plane. But I want to be very clear. This is not a movie. This is a real situation involving a real chemical agent that was produced by a company called Darrow Chemical under a military contract decades ago, before my time, way before my time. Nobody told me about this until today, and frankly, I am not happy about that. The people of Easley, South Carolina are suffering tonight. Good people, hard-working people. I've been to South Carolina many times. Tremendous state. They love me there. And what is happening to them is not acceptable. It is not acceptable, and I am going to fix it. Here is what I have authorized. I have directed the Department of Defense to deploy a heavy artillery payload to the quarantine zone around Easley. Very powerful weapons, the best weapons. These are weapons that will eliminate every trace of this biological agent from the affected area. Now, some people are going to say, oh, that's too much. You can't do that. What about the town? And I understand that. I do. But the generals tell me, and these are very smart people, the smartest, they tell me that if we do not act now, this thing spreads. And if it spreads, it's not one town. It's the whole coast. Nobody wants to bomb American soil. I certainly do not want to bomb American soil. But this is, and I say this with a heavy heart, this is the Walking Dead out there, except they're not slow. They're fast, very fast, and they're smart. And I am not going to let that spread to Charlotte or Atlanta or, God forbid, anywhere else. To the people of Easley who are still alive and listening to this, I want you to know that your president hears you. The evacuation of survivors from the quarantine perimeter is being looked at. My people are looking at it very strongly. This is going to be fast. It is going to be decisive. And when it is over, and it will be over, we are going to rebuild Easley bigger and better than it was before. That I can tell you. God bless Easley. God bless South Carolina. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
The president spoke for approximately 4 minutes. Key points: the crisis in Easley has been designated a Class 1 biological event. Heavy artillery has been authorized for the quarantine zone. Survivor evacuation is, in the president's words, being looked at. If you are inside the quarantine zone and you heard that, the president of the United States has authorized a military strike on this town. Get underground. Get into a basement, a cellar, anything below ground level. Do it now.
(1:30 p.m., Saturday afternoon. This is Spider on KXEL. I've been at this desk for 20 hours, and I don't know why I'm still talking, except that stopping feels worse than going. The military sealed the county about 2 hours ago. Nobody in, nobody out. The Walmart on Calhoun Memorial went dark before noon. The main newsfeed went dead a few minutes ago. I think they shut Johnny down at the barricade. The president just gave an address and said he authorized a strike, a military strike, on us, on this town. I can hear them outside the station, the parking lot, the sidewalk, voices out there, not yelling, not screaming, just talking, like they're deciding something. The front door has a deadbolt and a steel frame, and I pushed the filing cabinet against it an hour ago, for whatever that's worth. My phone lines are still lit, every single one. I haven't had a living caller in over 2 hours. Every number that comes in is either blocked or belongs to somebody who died before today. I'm going to pick up anyway, because that's what this station does. Caller, you're on with Spider.
Hello, Spider. We can see your building, the one with the antenna on the roof. We are outside.
I know you are. I can hear you through the wall.
There are a lot of us now, Spider. More every hour. Some came from the cemetery, some from the hospital. Some woke up in the parking lot at the Walmart with their throats torn out. The morgue drawers opened very easily. We remembered how latches work.
What do you want from me?
I want the pain to stop. Just for a few minutes. You know what we need, Spider. Your friend on the podcast explained it very well. We were all listening to that. Very educational. Brains, Spider, brains.
I'm going to the next caller. Go ahead.
Spider, please, let us in.
No.
You don't understand what this is like. I didn't ask for this. I was in the ground, Spider. I was sleeping. I was at peace. And then the rain came down through the dirt, and it was like somebody plugged me into a wall socket. Every inch of me is on fire. My jaw, my ribs, the inside of my eyelids. I can feel my skin separating from the muscle underneath, and there is nothing I can do to make it stop. It hurts to be dead, Spider. It hurts so much, and you have the only thing that makes it quiet for a little while.
Folks, I can hear something at the front door now. Not knocking, working on it, testing the frame, hitting the same spot over and over the way the one at the morgue did. They learn, and they don't stop. One more call, last one, go ahead.
Hello, Spider. We've really enjoyed your show. Very community-minded. You've been talking to the living people of Easley all night, telling them to call in, telling them to share what they're seeing, and they did. They told you their street names, their neighborhoods, how close they were to the cemetery. We've been listening, Spider. Every time a caller gave their location, we sent someone. Maple Street, very helpful. The house by the north fence of the cemetery, even better. And now we'd like to thank you in person. Send more broadcasters.
Folks, they were using the calls. Every time someone called this station and said where they were, I put them on the air, and I told those things exactly where the living people were hiding. I did that. I did that to them. If anyone is still out there listening, do not call anyone. Do not tell anyone where you are. Do not answer the phone. Do not answer the door. They are listening, and they are smart, and they remember everything. This is Spider, KXEL, Easley, South Carolina.
Attention! The following message is transmitted at the request of the South Carolina Emergency Management Division. This is not a test. A civil danger warning has been issued for Pickens County, Greenville County, Spartanburg County, Anderson County, and Oconee County in the state of South Carolina, and Polk County and Henderson County in the state of North Carolina, effective immediately until midnight Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday, at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today. United States military forces conducted an authorized containment strike on the town of Easley, South Carolina. The strike has resulted in the atmospheric release of an unclassified chemical compound. Airborne dispersion of this compound is occurring. Precipitation in the warned area may contain trace concentrations. Remain indoors. Do not go outside. Do not allow skin or clothing to contact precipitation of any kind. If you have been exposed to discolored or odorous rainfall, move indoors immediately. Remove outer clothing and wash all exposed skin with clean water. Do not consume tap water sourced from open reservoirs or collection systems. Seal all exterior doors and windows. Monitor this channel for updates. This message will repeat. Attention. The following message is transmitted at the request of the South Carolina Emergency Management Division. This is not a test. A civil danger warning has been issued for Pickens County, Greenville County, Spartanburg County, Anderson County, and Oconee County in the state of South Carolina, and Polk County and Henderson County in the state of North Carolina. Effective immediately until midnight Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today. United States military forces conducted an authorized containment strike on the town of Easley, South Carolina. The strike has resulted in the atmospheric release of an unclassified chemical compound. Airborne dispersion of this compound is occurring. Precipitation in the warned area may contain trace concentrations. Remain indoors. Do not go outside. Do not allow skin or clothing to contact precipitation of any kind. If you have been exposed to discolored or odorous rainfall, move indoors immediately. Remove outer clothing and wash all exposed skin with clean water. Do not consume tap water sourced from open reservoirs or collection systems. Seal all exterior doors and windows. Monitor this channel for updates.
Good evening. I'm Frank Johnson. We are coming to you live from the National Desk with continuing coverage of the crisis in the southeastern United States. At approximately 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time today, United States military forces carried out an artillery bombardment of the town of Easley, South Carolina. The strike was authorized by President Wilson in a televised address earlier this afternoon. Easley has been destroyed. We are told there were still civilians inside the quarantine zone at the time of the strike. The exact number is not yet known. We have reached out to the Department of Defense for a statement and have not received one. What we can tell you at this hour is that the situation has not improved. It has gotten worse. Barbara is live from Interstate 85 near the South Carolina border. Barbara, what are you seeing?
Frank, I'm standing about 6 miles north of the South Carolina state line. Behind me, you can see a column of smoke that stretches from the horizon line to the cloud deck. That smoke has been rising since the strike 3 hours ago, and it hasn't dissipated. It's being pulled northeast by the prevailing winds. And here's what's happening on the ground. The smoke from the bombardment has mixed with the moisture in the storm front that's been sitting over the Piedmont region since yesterday. The result is rainfall, and that rainfall is not normal. I've been watching it fall for the last 90 minutes, Frank. It's got a yellowish-green tint, identical to what was reported in Easley before the cemetery event. It's falling right now on Greenville, Spartanburg, and based on the radar I'm looking at, it's pushing north into the western edge of Charlotte.
Barbara, are you saying the same chemical rain that preceded the outbreak at Easley is now falling on major population centers?
That's what it looks like. I'm not a chemist, Frank, but the color is identical and the smell is the same sulfur compound that people in Easley described before everything started.
Stay safe out there, Barbara. Get inside as soon as you can. Joining us now by phone is Dr. Kaltenbrunner, Director of the CDC Emergency Response Division. Dr. Kaltenbrunner, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Frank.
Doctor, our reporter is describing rainfall in the Carolinas that matches the contaminated precipitation reported in Easley before the outbreak. Is the CDC monitoring this?
We are monitoring it, Frank. I want to be careful here because the lab work is still in progress. What I can tell you is that we have collected samples from 6 locations in the upstate region, and the preliminary analysis shows elevated sulfur dioxide levels and a secondary organic compound that we are still working to classify.
An organic compound. Doctor, is this the same substance that caused the events in Easley?
I am not prepared to make that connection at this time. The sample profiles show similarities, yes, but we need to complete the full analysis before drawing conclusions. What I will say is that the CDC has issued guidance to residents in the affected areas to remain indoors and avoid direct contact with any rainfall until further notice.
Doctor, I need to push you on this. In Endsley, the same type of rain fell on the local cemetery, and within hours the dead began rising from the ground. Charlotte, North Carolina has a population of 900,000 people. Are we looking at the same scenario on a larger scale?
Frank, I understand the concern and I share it, but I can't stand here and confirm a causal link between atmospheric precipitation and reanimation of deceased tissue when the science on that mechanism is, we don't have a model for that. Nobody has a model for that. What I can say is that anyone in a region receiving discolored or odorous rainfall should shelter immediately, close all windows and doors, do not drink tap water that may have been sourced from open reservoirs, and stay tuned to emergency broadcast channels.
Nobody has a model for it. Dr. Colton Brunner, thank you. To recap what we know at 7 p.m. Eastern, the town of Easley, South Carolina has been destroyed by military artillery. The strike vaporized the chemical agent responsible for the outbreak, and that agent is now in the atmosphere. Discolored acidic rainfall matching the Easley contamination is falling on cities across the Carolinas. The CDC says it does not have a model for what is happening. If you are in the southeastern United States tonight, stay inside. We'll have more as this develops.
You're listening to Coast Watch with Chuck Bradshaw, 8 p.m. Saturday night, and if you were expecting our regular segment on government spending, yeah, that's not happening. Nothing regular is happening anymore. For those of you just tuning in, the United States military bombed an American town this afternoon, Easley, South Carolina, gone. And the reason they bombed it, I'm going to say this out loud because somebody needs to, is because dead people were walking around and eating the living. That happened. That is a real thing that happened today in America. And now there's yellow rain falling across the Carolinas, and nobody at the CDC wants to say what it is. The phones are going crazy. Sarah, you're on the air.
Chuck, hi. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina. It started raining about an hour ago, and I don't know if this is the same thing they're talking about on the news, but it's yellow. The rain is yellow.
Asheville, that's what, 100 miles from where they dropped the bombs? The wind carried it that far in 3 hours.
I put a bowl out on the back porch to collect some, and it's got a film on top, yellowish green, and the smell, Chuck, it's like rotten eggs and something chemical underneath it. My neighbor's garden is turning brown where the rain is hitting the leaves. And I keep thinking about what happened in Easley. Riverside Cemetery is 4 blocks from my house, Chuck. 4 blocks.
Okay, Sarah. Sarah, listen to me. Go inside. Stay away from the windows facing the cemetery. Fill your bathtub with clean water right now before whatever's in that rain gets into the pipes. Do it now. All right, next caller, Mike, you're on. And you're a trucker, is that right?
Chuck, I'm driving northbound on I-77 out of Columbia. Been on the road since this morning. And I need to tell you what I'm seeing out here because nobody on the news is showing this.
Go ahead, Mike.
The military is retreating. I don't know what else to call it. I passed 3 convoys heading north since Rock Hill, and every single one of them was moving fast. Humvees, troop carriers, supply trucks. They were not set up for a fight. They were leaving. And at the rest stop outside Fort Mill, I saw soldiers throwing equipment into a ditch, body armor, ammunition crates. One kid couldn't have been more than 19, was sitting on the bumper of a 2.5 with his head in his hands. I asked him if he was okay. He looked at me and said, "It doesn't matter what we shoot him with."
The military bombed Easley to contain this thing, and 3 hours later they're running from it. That tells you everything, folks. That tells you everything you need to know about what we're dealing with. Okay, I've got one more caller, and then I've got some information I need to share with you. Caller, you're on Coast Watch.
Hello, National News. We're calling from Charlotte.
Charlotte, who am I speaking with?
We are waking up now. The rain is very effective here. Elmwood Cemetery is open. Evergreen Cemetery is open. Sharon Memorial Park is open. We are organized this time. We learned from Easley.
You learned from Easley? What does that mean?
We listen to all of your broadcasts. We know how the living respond, where they hide, what scares them into running. We are cutting the power first this time. Then the phones. Send more National Guard, please. The last ones were very helpful.
Folks, that was not a prank call. I've been doing radio for 22 years, and I know what a prank sounds like. That was a dead woman telling me they have strategy now. They're cutting power and phones before they come for people. If you are in Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville, or anywhere the yellow rain is falling, you are in a combat zone and you don't have much time. Fill your water now, board your windows, and for God's sake, do not tell anyone on any open channel where you are. They are listening. This is Coast Watch. We'll be back if the tower holds.
Dead frequency. I'm Kurt Reynolds. This is the fastest turnaround I've ever done on an episode. My last one went up 6 hours ago, and the situation has already made half of it outdated. Easley is gone. The United States military destroyed the town this afternoon, and I have someone with me tonight who was inside the quarantine perimeter when the order came down. He got out. He shouldn't have. His name is Freddie Hanscom. He worked at Robinson Funeral Home as a crematorium operator. That's the facility where they tried to burn the first reanimated body Friday night. Freddie, start wherever you need to.
Yeah. Okay. I've been watching the news all day, and everything they're saying is a lie, Kurt. Not half a lie, not a misunderstanding, a lie. And I'm going to tell you what actually happened inside that building, because I was standing next to the oven when they wheeled it in.
Who brought the body to you?
Sheriff McClellan and 2 deputies. Around 2:30 in the morning, they came into the back entrance with the body on a dolly. It was in a bag, like a heavy canvas sack, and it was moving. Inside the bag, you could see it shifting. McClellan told me to put it in the retort and run it at max temperature. No paperwork, no death certificate, just burn it. I asked him what was in the bag, and he said, "Don't ask me that, Freddie. Just turn the oven on."
And you did it.
I did it. I loaded the bag onto the tray and pushed it in. The thing inside was screaming, Kurt. Not groaning, screaming, words. It was saying, "It hurts, please, it hurts." And I closed the door and I turned it on. The retort runs at 1600 degrees. Normally you don't hear anything once the burner kicks on. I could hear it inside the oven for 11 minutes, Kurt. 11 minutes at 1600 degrees, and it was still screaming.
11 minutes.
Then the screaming stopped, and the smoke started. The exhaust on the crematorium vents through a chimney stack at the back of the building. The smoke coming out was thick and yellow-green. It didn't rise. It sank, rolled along the ground like fog. McClellan started coughing. One of the deputies got nauseous. I opened the oven door to check, and there was nothing left inside. The body was gone, completely vaporized. But the fire was still burning, and the smoke was getting worse. And then the chimney caught. The whole stack ignited.
That's the fire the news reported. I documented this in my last episode. The trioxin doesn't break down at cremation temperatures. It converts to vapor.
And that vapor went straight into the clouds. I stood in a parking lot and watched it happen. 20 minutes later, it started raining. And the rain was the same color as the smoke.
Now I need to ask you about today. The bombing.
I got out around noon. There was a drainage culvert that runs under the road at the south end of town. The soldiers at the barricade didn't know about it. I crawled through about a quarter mile of standing water and came out the other side covered in mud. I was on a hill about 3 miles out when the bombs hit. I watched the whole thing. The town went up in a column of fire, and the smoke was, Kurt, the smoke was the same color as the crematorium smoke, the same yellow-green, except there was 1,000 times more of it. One body in a crematorium poisoned the sky over Easley. The military just vaporized every contaminated body in that town, every corpse from the cemetery, every infected person who died in the last 12 hours, and they put all of it into the atmosphere at once.
It's the same mistake, the exact same mistake, at 10,000 times the scale.
That's right. And I stood on that hill and watched the clouds spread northeast, toward Greenville, toward Spartanburg, toward Charlotte. It was beautiful, Kurt, like a sunset made out of poison.
The news is reporting discolored rain across the Carolinas right now. I've been tracking this since my last episode. Charlotte, Greenville, Asheville, every one of those cities has cemeteries. I want people to hear this next part clearly. Freddie, based on what you saw inside that crematorium, can these things be killed?
No. That thing screamed for 11 minutes inside a 1,600-degree oven. I watched deputies shoot them in the street. Headshots, body shots, didn't matter. One of them got hit by a pickup truck going 40 miles an hour, and it stood back up. The legs were broken, and it crawled. You can't burn them because that spreads the gas. You can't shoot them because the trioxin runs every cell in the body independently. You can't contain them because they think and they remember and they figure out locks and doors and fences. The only thing that stopped them was electricity. I watched the power line come down on one in the street, and the current fried it in place, stopped moving. The body stayed intact. No gas, no spread. That's the only thing I saw work.
So the one thing that works requires a power grid, and the dead are cutting power as their first move in Charlotte.
Yeah, they're smart, Kurt. They're learning, and there are a lot more of them now than there were this morning.
Freddie Hanscom, crematorium operator. The only civilian eyewitness I know of who made it out of Easley alive. That's dead frequency. The government lied about what this is, and they made it worse on purpose. Don't trust the rain. Don't trust the official story, and do not let them bomb another city.
It is 2 a.m. Sunday morning. I'm Frank Johnson. What I'm about to report to you is information we have confirmed through 3 separate sources within the Department of Defense. All 3 sources spoke on the condition they not be identified. The United States military has lost operational control of the southeastern seaboard. That is a direct quote from one of our sources. Lost operational control. Since the destruction of Easley yesterday afternoon, the contaminated rainfall has spread across 4 states, cemeteries and morgues in Charlotte, Greenville, Columbia, Asheville, and as of approximately midnight, Atlanta have all reported mass reanimation events. We go live to Barbara, who's on Interstate 75 south of Atlanta. Barbara, what's happening?
Frank, I'm on the shoulder of 75, about 12 miles south of the city. The highway is stopped. Not slow, stopped, both directions. People abandoned their vehicles about an hour ago when the barricade at the Jonesboro exit was overrun. There were National Guard units at that barricade, Frank. Armored vehicles, crew-served weapons. They held for about 45 minutes, and then the dead came from behind them.
From behind them?
They flanked the position, Frank. One group came straight up the highway from the south, drew all the fire, soaked up every round the Guard had. Meanwhile, a second group had circled through the woods on the east side and came through a drainage ditch behind the barricade. They hit the Guard from both sides at once. That's not random, Frank. That's a flanking maneuver. The dead planned an ambush, and it worked.
Barbara, get off that highway. Find a building and get inside. We have Colonel Glover back on the phone. Colonel Glover was the commanding officer for the Easley quarantine. Colonel, Our reporter just described the dead executing a coordinated flanking attack on a National Guard position. How is that possible?
Mr. Johnson, I'm not going to pretend that what your reporter described fits any threat model we've been operating under. Conventional military doctrine assumes an adversary that responds to casualties. These subjects do not respond to casualties. You can destroy 90% of a formation and the remaining 10% continues the advance. But the flanking, the coordination, I've been on the phone with field commanders in 3 states for the last 4 hours and they're all reporting the same thing. The subjects are communicating. They're sharing information about defensive positions.
Sharing information. Colonel, what does that mean?
It means they're talking to each other, Mr. Johnson, on our radios. The subjects at the Jonesboro barricade were using captured military handsets to relay the Guard's position to the flanking group. They used our own communications equipment against us. We're also getting reports that power grids in Charlotte and Columbia went dark at approximately the same time, within a 15-minute window. That is not a coincidence. Somebody, or something, is coordinating infrastructure attacks across state lines.
Colonel, this is the man who told us 48 hours ago that containment was the priority and the military had this under control. What happened?
What happened is that we fought this like it was a biological hazard that could be contained and destroyed. It's not a hazard, it's an enemy. And it's an enemy that learns faster than we can adapt. The bombing of Easley was supposed to end this. Instead, it gave the compounded delivery system that covers the entire eastern half of the country. I recommended the strike. I want that on the record. I recommended it, and I was wrong.
Colonel Glover, thank you. I don't know if thank you is the right thing to say anymore, but thank you to everyone watching. The military has lost control of the southeastern United States. The dead are organized. They are communicating using captured equipment, and they are executing coordinated attacks on defensive positions. Power is down across Charlotte and Columbia. The rain is still falling. If you are in the affected area, stay inside and stay silent. They are listening to everything.
"3 a.m. Sunday morning. This is Coast Watch. I'm Chuck Bradshaw, and I don't know who's still out there. Half my affiliate stations dropped off the satellite feed in the last hour. Charlotte is dark. Columbia is dark. Atlanta's going, if you can hear me, you're one of the lucky ones, or the unlucky ones. I haven't decided which yet. The phones are still ringing. Corporal Hicks, you're on the air, and you said you're active duty."
I was active duty. 2nd Battalion, 120th Infantry, South Carolina National Guard. We were deployed to the outer perimeter at Rock Hill 12 hours ago.
Or past tense.
The perimeter collapsed about 90 minutes ago. I'm at a gas station off Route 21 heading north. I left. I'm not going to pretend I didn't.
Nobody's going to judge you for that tonight, Corporal. Tell me what happened at the perimeter.
We had the road blocked. Jersey barriers, concertina wire, 250 cals on the flanks. They came at us from the south around midnight. Maybe 200 of them on the road. We lit them up. Everything we had. The 50 cals tore them apart. I mean, physically tore them apart. Arms, legs, chunks of torso hitting the pavement. And the pieces kept moving. A legless torso was dragging itself toward the wire. A severed arm was still grabbing at the Jersey barrier. And then we heard the radio. One of them on our own frequency. Calm voice. Gave our position, our unit's strength, the direction our guns were facing. 20 minutes later, a second group hit us from behind through a residential neighborhood we thought was clear. My sergeant told us to fall back. Then my sergeant stopped talking. I got in the truck and I drove. I don't know how many of us got out. I don't think it was a lot.
Corporal Hicks, thank you for calling. Keep driving north. Don't stop for anything. Folks, You just heard a United States soldier tell you that our weapons don't work and the dead are using our own radios against us. I've got 2 more callers and I already know what they are. Go ahead, line 1.
We are moving north toward the capital. There are a great many of us now, Chuck. The rain has been very generous. We heard the corporal's story. He ran. They all run, and we follow. Their brains are very tasty.
The consequence, folks, they're moving toward Washington. I don't have a joke for this. I don't have a hot take. There is no joke anymore, and there hasn't been one for a while. The dead are organized, and they're marching on the capital of the United States, and there is nothing between them and the White House except highway. If you're north of the line, you have hours, not days, hours. This is Coast Watch. I'll be here as long as the signal holds.
We are now going live to the White House, where President Wilson is about to deliver his second address to the nation regarding the biological crisis. This comes less than 12 hours after his authorization of the Easley strike and amid reports that the contamination has spread to at least 4 major cities across the Southeast.
My fellow Americans, when I spoke to you last and I told you we were going to handle this, I told you we were going to be fast and decisive, and we were fast, we were decisive. The strike on Easley was the fastest military deployment on domestic soil in the history of this country. But I have to be honest with you tonight. And you know me, I'm always honest, sometimes too honest. People tell me that all the time. The strike didn't work. It didn't work. The bombing destroyed the town, yes. But the chemical, the agent, the thing that makes the dead get up, it went into the sky, into the clouds. And now it's raining down on, they tell me, on South Carolina, on North Carolina, on Virginia, and we believe it's heading further north. My generals, and these are good people, some of the best, they told me we could contain it. I believed them. They told me the perimeter would hold. The perimeter didn't hold. The dead, and I'm going to use that word because that's what they are. The dead aren't like what you see in the movies. They're not like Dawn of the Dead where you can hide in a shopping mall and everything's fine. They're not like Zombieland where it's funny. These are fast. They talk. They use tools. And tonight, my military advisors told me they're using our own weapons and radios against our soldiers. I'm not going to stand here and tell you we're winning. I said that yesterday. I believed it yesterday. Tonight, I can't say that. I have ordered all military units in the Southeastern Theater to withdraw to secondary positions north of Richmond. We're going to regroup. We're going to figure out what works against these things. Because right now, and this is hard for me to say, nothing we have is working. To the people in the affected zones, I know you are scared. I know some of you are angry with me, and maybe you should be. I authorized the strike that spread this. My people told me it was the right call. It wasn't the right call. I'm asking you tonight to stay inside your homes. Stay away from the windows. Don't answer the door for anyone, because they sound like people, and they remember things that people know. Conserve your food and water. Stay off the radio and the phones. And if you are a person of faith, tonight would be a good night for that, because I have always believed that this is the greatest country in the history of the world, and I still believe that, and we're going to need that to be true now more than we have ever needed it. God bless you. God bless this country. We'll speak again soon.
The president spoke for approximately 5 minutes. Key points: the Easley strike failed and spread the contamination to multiple states. The military has been ordered to withdraw to positions north of Richmond, Virginia. Citizens are being told that conventional defense is not working. The President of the United States just told the American people to pray. We will continue our coverage. It is 6 a.m., Sunday morning. I'm Frank Johnson. This may be the last broadcast from this facility. We have been informed that the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area is now within the projected contamination zone. The yellow rain began falling on the northern Virginia suburbs approximately 90 minutes ago. It is falling on the Pentagon. It is falling on Arlington National Cemetery. I will let you consider what that means. Before we go any further, we were supposed to speak with a representative from the CDC. However, we are getting breaking visuals from the Capitol. I'm going to throw it immediately to our field reporter, Bill Evans, who is live in Chopper 5 over Washington. Bill, what is the situation on the ground?
Frank, we don't have the doctor. We lost the uplink to Atlanta. I'm in Chopper 5 over the National Mall, and it is absolute bedlam down here. The yellow rain is pouring down, and the streets are a complete meat grinder. They're moving so fast, Frank. They are sprinting up the Capitol steps. The military set up concrete barricades, but these things, they're coordinating. They're using tools. They're ripping the barricades apart with their bare hands.
Bill, we are having trouble processing this in the studio. You're saying the military perimeter has completely failed. Are the reports of the infected moving at a full sprint accurate?
Frank, listen to me. We just watched a National Guard platoon get completely overrun near the reflecting pool. The infected, they are talking. I swear to God, they hijacked a police cruiser's PA system. They're telling the soldiers to send more paramedics. They're asking for brains. They are swarming the evacuation points. A military transport just went down in flames near the Washington Monument. The burning fuel is washing right over them, but they aren't stopping. The fire doesn't kill them, Frank. It just makes them angrier. The rain is soaking into the ground across the river. We flew over Arlington minutes ago, and the earth was moving, Frank. The graves are opening. Thousands of them are clawing out of the mud and marching straight toward the bridges. Wait, Jimmy, pull up. Pull the chopper up. We're scaling the monument. Mayday!
Bill? Bill, are you there? We have lost the feed from Chopper 5. God help them. We have just received an unverified audio feed. I'm being told it was captured from the White House Emergency Communications channel approximately 20 minutes ago. I have not heard this yet. My producers are asking me to play it. I'm going to play it.
Get them back! Get them back from the door! Where is the Secretary of Defense? I want the Secretary of Defense on the phone right now. How many of them are out there? I want a number. Somebody give me a number.
Hello, Mr. President. Send more Secret Service. Their brains were very helpful.
That was audio from inside the White House bunker. The final voice on that recording was not the president. The White House has fallen. The status of the president is unknown. The status of the line of succession is unknown. To anyone still watching, I don't know what to tell you to do. Stay inside. Stay quiet. Don't answer the door. Hold on to the people next to you. This is Frank Johnson. This has been our national broadcast. I hope someone hears this. Good night.
6:30 a.m. Sunday. This is Coast Watch with Chuck Bradshaw. I don't know how many of you are left. Most of my affiliate towers went dark overnight. The White House fell about 30 minutes ago. The national news played the tape. If you heard it, you know. If you didn't, the president is gone. I've got 3 calls on the board, all blocked numbers. I already know what they are. But this is what I do. So let's do it. Line 1.
The broadcast towers.
Yeah. What about them?
Are surrounded.
Of course they are.
Brains. We need brains. Let us in, please.
Folks, if you're out there, if you can hear this, get out of the southeast, head west, head north, leave now. Wait, please. Don't come any closer. Ah!
Attention. The following message is transmitted at the direction of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. A national emergency warning has been issued for all areas of the continental United States. The state of Alaska, the state of Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and all United States territories. This warning is in effect until further notice. Federal military and emergency management resources have been exhausted in efforts to contain the biological event currently affecting the eastern United States. The Washington, the 500C metropolitan area is no longer under federal control. The chain of federal command has been interrupted. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is ceasing active operations at this time. All citizens are directed to shelter in place immediately. Do not open exterior doors or windows. Do not engage anyone exhibiting signs of infection. Conventional weapons have not proven effective. Retreat and seal your shelter. Do not disclose your location on any open radio or telephone channel. Do not consume precipitation or water from open sources. Conserve all food and water supplies. This is the final emergency alert issued by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Further government broadcasts cannot be guaranteed. God bless the United States of America.
This is Kilo Echo Niner, broadcasting on the blind. It's been exactly 730 days since the Capitol went dark. 2 years. I don't know if anyone is listening anymore. I sit here in the dark, spinning the dial on this old rig all night, and it's mostly static coming through the speakers. Static and sometimes those voices. The dead ones outside my bunker, wearing the rotted remnants of whatever they died in, have been testing the secondary air vents for 3 weeks. They still try to mimic distress signals to draw people out. A baby crying, a woman screaming, it's always a trap. Don't fall for it. They're smart, but they lack imagination. You have to stay underground. The surface belongs to them now. I went up last month to check the solar array just for 10 minutes. I saw a pack of them out there by the tree line, standing completely still in the pouring rain while they watched the horizon. Maybe 20 rotting bastards. They were dismantling a ruined tractor to make pry bars, stripping the steel axle, working together like a NASCAR pit crew. I barely got the hatch closed before one of them looked up. It smiled, a thing with half its jaw torn away, standing in that endless yellow drizzle, just smiled and waved. I locked the deadbolt. They aren't mindless zombies. They're engineers of our destruction. I'm losing my mind a little bit down here. I know I am. I haven't heard a living human voice since my radio picked up a terrified guy in Kentucky 14 months ago. He didn't make it. But I have my movies, the collection. Remember when all those tech bloggers and young kids laughed at the guys keeping massive shelves of physical discs in their living rooms? The Blu-rays, the special editions. They told me streaming was the future. They said everything is in the cloud, Bill. You don't need plastic boxes taking up space. Well, look at the cloud now. The cloud is full of poison vapor that wakes up the dead. The internet servers are melted slag, and streaming is gone forever. But I have 412 physical discs right here in this bunker. Tangible media. I hook my stationary bike to a salvaged car alternator. I pedal for 3 hours, and I earn enough juice to watch one movie. It's the only thing keeping me tethered to the world we lost. I watch the westerns mostly. The classics. They make sense right now. The world went back to the frontier, didn't it? Just brutal survival, nothing else. And outlaws. Everywhere. Except our outlaws don't just want to steal our cattle. They want to crack our skulls open like walnuts and eat what's inside. I put on Gary Cooper in High Noon. That old movie, the black and white one people ignored, tells you exactly how to handle a crisis. He does the hard thing by facing the threat alone when the coward townspeople hide. Sound familiar? I sit here with my rifle, wiping the condensation off the barrel for the 5th time today, and I asked Gary what he would do. He wouldn't open the door. He'd stand his ground, and he wouldn't compromise with monsters. And John Wayne in The Searchers, he never quit. Ethan Edwards, riding out into the harsh desert for years, never stopped hunting his terrible prey. He hated his enemy with a chilling clarity that kept him breathing and moving forward through the worst winters. You need that kind of hate down here. You really do. It warms the blood when the ambient temperature drops and the blankets aren't enough. I talk to Ethan sometimes. I ask him if he ever got tired. He just stares out from the screen, covered in dust, and tells me to keep my powder dry. Literally. The dampness in this bunker ruins ammunition if you aren't careful. They talk to me through the concrete, the dead ones. They find the thick copper grounding wire running all the way up to the surface, and they use a piece of metal to tap on it. They actually learned Morse code just to tap out little requests for me to come upstairs. They promise they'll make it quick. Sometimes they use voices they shouldn't know. It's a psychological trick. Yesterday, the tapping sounded like my brother's cadence. It messed me up. My brother, the one who always tried to protect me, died in a car wreck in 2010. He never even saw a drop of the Trioxin rain. I buried him myself, but they mimicked the exact rhythm of how he used to knock on my bedroom door when we were kids. Or maybe I just wanted to be him. No, that's the isolation talking. It's just meat up there on the surface. Extremely smart meat. Gary told me to ignore the people outside the door, so I'm going to follow his advice and ignore them. I'm going to put Shane on now, or maybe Unforgiven, I don't know. I pedal. Kilo Echo Niner, broadcasting blindly from the only safe place left in the world, signing off for the night. Stay in the dark.
Good evening. Well, I suppose it depends on where you're standing, and whether you are still standing at all. You've heard the whole business now. A rusted drum in the woods, a careless fire, a government that knew and said nothing, and then said something and did the one thing guaranteed to make it worse. Ghastly business, really. And yet, one can't help but admire the efficiency of it, a compound that turns its own destruction into a delivery system. Every attempt to burn it only feeds it. Every bomb dropped becomes a gift. The dead, I must say, handled it with far more composure than the living. They organized, they adapted, they learned from their mistakes, which is more than one can say for the government. I do hope you found it educational, or at the very least, instructive. There is a lesson in here somewhere about leaving things sealed that were meant to stay sealed. But I suspect it's a trifle late for lessons now. Thank you for listening, and do try to stay indoors. Good night.